Christian Church in Stillwater, Oklahoma, sitting in front of one of the most outstanding pipe organs of its size in the area. Like the organ, First Christian Church stands out as an icon in the community, with its 150-foot tall tower topped with a cross and mid-century modern architecture. It is an unmistakable fixture of the community. In front of me is the 37-ring Dobson pipe organ, installed in 1991. It is the largest organ in Stillwater. This instrument has 26 stops, 1,986 pipes, is 40 feet tall, and weighs 24,000 pounds. It replaced a 1930s-era Kilgan organ originally installed in the church's previous building across town, before being moved to the current church's fellowship hall, and finally to the present sanctuary upon completion in 1968. The old organ was inadequate for the large space and was beginning to show its age. In the 1980s, First Christian Church sought a replacement and initially contracted Schutte Organ Company in Garland, Texas. Eventually, Dobson Pipe Organ Builders of Lake City, Iowa, was contacted for a new contract and utilized the few completed parts from Schutte. As you can see, the Honduras mahogany case has a rather unique shape, which follows the angle of the ceiling. Another striking visual feature is the color of the facade pipes, coming from flamed copper. Both elements keep the organ's appearance in line with the church's architecture. Due to our current situation in the pandemic, this magnificent instrument hasn't been heard live in a service since March, and now in October, I want to give you a chance to hear and learn more about it. Here, we have 2 keyboards, or manuals, and a pedal board below. All of the key action is mechanical, so there is a physical connection between each key and the mechanism in the wind chest that allows the pipe to speak. There is, however, a computer for the stop action and the combination action seen under the manuals and above the pedal board. Getting into the sounds of the organ, the bottom manual is called the Grand Orgue, and the stops on the right are for it above the black line. So if we begin with the flutes, we have a 16-foot Borden, an 8-foot flute au chimney, a 4-foot flute conique, a 2 2/3 Nazard, a 2-foot Court de Nazard, and a 1 3/5 tierce. If I take away the 16-foot, we have something called a cornet, which has a reedy quality. So now, let me play you something, an excerpt of a concerto, so that I can show you how light and nimble these flute sounds can be. Now moving on to the louder stops of the division, we find one reed, which is an 8-foot trumpet. And this is quite a large sound. And from here, we'll move on to the principals, beginning with the 8-foot mantra, adding the 4-foot prestant, and a 5-rank mixture called a fourniture. One interesting stop that I haven't talked about is the Zimbelstern. This Zimbelstern is a small device at the top of the organ with several small bells in it that, when struck, create a tinkling sound. You'll often hear this played during the Christmas season. Moving to the upper manual, or récit, we have a variety of sound possibilities. Starting with the flutes, we have an 8-foot Borden, an and a 4-foot flute en chimney. In this division, we also have string sounds, the first of which is the 8-foot solitional, and we also have an 8-foot voix celeste. Now the voix celeste produces a similar string sound, but is purposely tuned slightly sharper so it creates an undulating effect. We also have 2 reeds in the division, the first of which is the 8-foot hautbois and the 8-foot crumb horn. Combined, they sound like a trumpet. And for comparison, here's the trumpet from the grand orgue, just a bit smaller in scale. We also can combine the 8-foot crumb horn with the bourdon and create a sound similar to a clarinet. Last, we have a principal chorus. Without an 8-foot principal, we use the 8-foot bourdon as the foundation. And then we build with the 4-foot prestant, the 2-foot doublet, the 1 1/3 quint, and a 4-rank mixture called the cymbal. Now, let me put some of these sounds in context by playing an excerpt from a short Johann Sebastian Bach piece. Last, we have the pedal division. Now, the stops for this division are found on either side of the manuals under the black lines. Starting with the principals, we have a 16-foot mantra. Building up, we have an 8-foot flute, a 4-foot prestant, and a 5-rank mixture called a fourniture. Now, it is important to note that this fourniture is separate from the one found on the grand orgue. Now, if we move to the softer stops, we have a 16-foot sous-basse, and an 8-foot bourdon, which is essentially an extension of that same rank. Now, the pedal reeds in this instrument are quite powerful. We have a 16-foot bombard and an 8-foot trumpet, which is an extension of that stop. As you can hear, they are quite loud, and when combined with all of the stops of the pedal, they produce a massive sound which is capable of supporting anything the organ plays above it. I hope you've enjoyed listening and learning about this outstanding instrument. It is a great pleasure and honor to be able to be in this church and play this instrument regularly. This has been the Dobson organ of the First Christian Church here in Stillwater, Oklahoma.